The boy who kept walking. In a small village surrounded by endless fields and tired houses, there lived a boy named Chinedu. His home was a tiny mud house with a roof that leaked whenever the sky cried too hard. His family didn't have much, but they had each other, and they had hope. Chinedu was different from other children. While others ran, played, and chased goats around the compound, Chinedu loved doing one thing. He walked. He walked in the mornings when mist still danced over the farms. He walked in the afternoons beneath a sun that roasted the earth. He walked in the evenings when crickets began their nightly songs. People often stared. Is something wrong with this boy? Does he wander because he has no direction? But they were wrong. Chinedu walked because in his heart he believed the world was bigger than his village, bigger than hunger, bigger than poverty, bigger than the expectations placed on his small shoulders. Every time he walked, he imagined a better future. A classroom where he sat in front, a uniform without torn edges, a life where his parents didn't have to count coins before eating. But dreams are not gentle. They test the dreamer. The night everything broke. One night while returning from the stream, Chinedu heard his parents whispering behind the curtain that separated the kitchen from the bedroom. His father's voice was heavy, like a man carrying stones on his chest. His school fees, we can't pay this term. His mother whispered back, her voice cracking, let him stay at home for now. We will try again next term. Those words stabbed him harder than hunger ever had. He pressed his hand against his chest as if trying to hold his breaking heart together. That night he couldn't sleep, not because he wanted school more than anything, but because he was scared that poverty was quietly winning. He didn't carry food. The long walk begins. Before dawn, when the village was still silent and chickens hadn't begun their morning noise, Chinedu tied his worn sandals and stepped outside. He didn't carry water. He didn't even know exactly where he was going. He just walked. He walked past farms where the early dew kissed his feet. He walked past huts where smoke slowly rose from morning cooking fires. He walked until the familiar paths of his childhood faded behind him. Hours passed. His legs trembled. His throat dried. But he kept whispering to himself, one more step, just one more step. He didn't know the world had been waiting for him on the other side of that long walk. The stranger by the road. By afternoon, he reached a dusty, lonely road that seemed to stretch into forever. Cars passed, occasionally throwing dust into the air. Chinedu stood there lost, tired, confused, and a small boy facing a very large world. Then a black jeep slowly pulled over beside him. The window rolled down, revealing an elderly man with silver hair, kind eyes, and a voice deep like ancient wisdom. "My boy," he said softly, "why are you so far from home?" That question broke Chinedu. Tears he had been holding back poured out. He told the man everything, the school fees, the fear, the dreams, the hopeless. The elderly man listened without interrupting, without judging. When Chinedu finished, the man nodded slowly. "You remind me of myself," he said. "I also walked away from home at your age because my dreams were too big for where I was." He introduced himself as Mr. Hassan, a retired teacher who once taught hundreds of children but now lived alone. He opened the jeep door gently. "Come inside, my boy. Let me help you carry the burden your small shoulders shouldn't carry alone. A new beginning, Mr." Hassan took Chinedu to his home, a quiet place filled with books, maps, old pictures of students he had taught, and certificates lined up on the wall. For the first time in a long time, Chinedu ate a full meal. For the first time, someone looked him in the eyes and said, "You are meant for more than your suffering." The next morning, Mr. Hassan visited Chinedu's parents. They were shocked, embarrassed, confused, but deeply grateful. The old man simply said, "I will take responsibility for his schooling. Let him chase the future waiting." From that day forward, everything changed. The years of hard work, life didn't become easy overnight, but it became possible. Chinedu went to school with new books and new hope. Every afternoon he would walk to Mr. Hassan's house for extra lessons. The old man was strict but gentle. "You cannot control where you were born," he often said, "but you can control how far you walk." Slowly Chinedu climbed. He went from struggling to read, to leading the class, to winning competitions, to earning scholarships. Teachers used his name as an example. Students admired him. His parents walked around with pride they never thought they would feel. But the one person he never wanted to disappoint was Mr. Hassan, the man who stepped into his life exactly when he needed a miracle. Years passed. Time took the old man gently like a leaf carried away by the wind. Before he died, he held Chinedu's hand and whispered, "Promise me you will help others walk the road you walked." Chinedu's tears fell on the man's frail fingers as he whispered back, "I promise," and he kept that promise. The return of the dreamer. Many years later, Chinedu returned to his village, no longer a scared boy, but a grown man with success following him like a shadow. People gathered around him amazed. Is this not the same boy who used to walk everywhere? See how life has changed him. Chinedu rebuilt his parents' house. He opened a small learning center for children who couldn't afford school fees. He sponsored young dreamers the same way he was once sponsored. On the wall of the Learning Center, he wrote the words that carried him through his darkest days: "Dreams don't move unless you do." One day, a little girl tugged his shirt and asked, "Sir, how did you make it?" And Chinedu looked at her with a smile that held years of struggle and victory. "I kept walking, even when it hurt, even when I was tired, even when the world said I should stop." Moral of the story: your beginning does not decide your ending. Sometimes your blessing is waiting on the road you are scared to walk. The world gives way to people who refuse to give up. Keep walking. Your breakthrough might be one step away.